everybody. Thank you for joining us today in our masterclass, Virtual Reality Transforming Architecture Through Immersive Experiences. I'm Josefina Sauti, Product Marketing Manager at Zigurat, and thanks again for joining us today. So just a quick overview for those of you who may not know us. Zigurat is an online institute of technology. We provide master's and postgraduate programs in 3 major areas: architecture, engineering, and tech management. We have over 20 years of experience in the e-learning environment, and we have a very huge community of more than 20,000 people from all over the world. So as you can see, that's a picture from our recent events we did here at Barcelona. And today's event, it's related to one of our programs, the postgraduate program in virtual reality for architecture. And it's a 4-month program. Which has 3 main areas. It covers 3D modeling in Rhino, interactive visualization in Unreal Engine, and it also covers Twinmotion. So you can scan the code there to see more details of the program. All of our programs are online, so you can take them wherever you are in the world. And well, today we have João Callao. He's the founder at Mirage Virtual Reality, and today he'll show us basically very, very cool technologies that we have today to create really immersive experiences. So he'll touch on VR, and then he'll also cover a little bit of AR, sorry. So without further ado, I'll give the floor to you, João. So.
Hello.
Thank you.
Can you see me already? Can you see me, Josephine?
I can see you, yeah.
Sorry. Oh, perfect. Awesome. So first of all, I would like to thank the Zigurat Institute of Technology. This is already the 2nd year we are representing Mirage. So we are very happy to be here again. And we are very happy that the VR community is growing and people are interested in these type of solutions, because we do believe in them, use them every day, and we help people use them every day. So as you know, the topic of today will be virtual reality, transforming architecture through immersive experiences. But first of all, I would like to make a short introduction about myself. So I'm the founder of Mirage Virtual Reality. And, here we go. And at Mirage, before Mirage was built, and the reason why I built Mirage is because my dad is an architect here in Portugal. So he runs an architecture firm in Portugal, where we are based, in Lisbon. And I've kind of like been together with my dad with the whole process from the start of presenting projects through pictures instead of drawings by hand. That was what used to be done. And the evolution of imagery and the evolution of computation and programming that allowed us today to be here. So 3 years ago, I decided to create something that I always envisioned in my head as the best way to show an architecture project. There is something which is our eyes. Our eyes are the most important thing. We want to conquer people, and we want to make them involved with our projects. And our eyes are something very, very important. Most of you that are listening to this amazing conference, I think it's very important for you to understand that I'm not an architect. So my base is basically from management. So I studied management in university. I did the master in marketing management, and that's where I wanted to take the part where you have the visual imagery to the architecture side and use that as a marketing tool and as a development. Okay, so I'm going to start to show a little bit of what we do. Our idea is to virtualize real estate assets, not only for architects, but also for real estate developers, for engineers, and whoever is involved on the building process. So we want to facilitate, and that's our objective, is to facilitate the visualization in a highly immersive way of projects. Here to the right side, you can see a project that we did. On the left-hand side, you'll see The white clay, which is without textures on the right-hand side, you'll see it with textures. So this is basically what you try to do. Mirage means envisioning what doesn't exist. Our services, we have more services, but these services are our key services, and I think the ones that matter for the day of today. So there are
Joao,
3D. Yes.
Sorry for interrupting. We'll just seeing the slides of AR. Is that okay?
No, it shouldn't. Let me see. Give me a
I
second.
think.
Okay.
There we see the services one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks. Sorry.
I'm sorry about this. Let me go back. Slideshow. Let me start on this one. Okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Okay, so here you go. What I was saying about the white clay on the left-hand side and right-hand side, the texturized presentation. Now you have the services that we do. We start with 3D still images. Most of you have seen video animation also in 3D. And now we go into more specific situations, the 3D virtual tours, virtual reality, and augmented reality. I believe you are more interested in the last two ones. So I'll go very fast through the other ones, but I wanted to explain because in this case, it's important to understand that what we do in VR comes with a very big background on what you do before of it. So the 3D images that you create, the video animation that you create, 3D virtual tours, they are useful tools to then create the VR and AR. So starting with exterior 3D still images, this is a building in Lisbon. So in the downtown Lisbon, it's going to be an hotel. This is simple 3D still images. So everything is CGI. Here also everything is CGI, now in Comporta, in the area of Malich. Now we're going to the interior 3D still images. This is a building, skyscraper in Boston, the same that you saw on the first slide. Then here it's a university in Oeiras, also in Portugal. Here's a Holiday Inn Express, the inside of a Holiday Inn Express. Now we can go into video animation. I'll stop here and make a quick remark because it is important to understand that now the video animation is a bit more developed form of interaction. That's why nowadays most of us we are more drawn into content that is video. So content that is video is more shareable. Content that is in video tends to be more interesting, and content that is in video tends to convey a better perspective of reality. Okay, but it's not the perfect reality, and that's where I want to go. So I'll just go out here and I'll show you here the little bit of the video we have done so you can understand. So, as you have seen, we go through the video and animation and idea here. Until this point, we basically do everything using 3ds Max and then Corona or even V-Ray. So it's important to understand that we are using 3ds Max as the basis for modeling, and then we go and build the images, we go and build the video and animation, okay? And after this, we come into the interaction side. So the interaction side has the amazing thing, which is more interactive. It engages more with people. So we have conducted some statistical studies to understand how people behave and why are 3D virtual tours so important, and how we can convert this into our advantage, and why this is a great tool for you to show to your clients, and even to your colleagues, and even to the end client of your clients. Okay, so going to 3D virtual tours, we basically, what we did is that we created two websites hand in hand. Okay, and these websites, one website had just images and video, and the other website had a virtual tour. For you to understand what happened between one and those is how people use these two websites. So we A/B tested these two websites, the same product, one with a virtual tour and one website with just images and video. And we were able to understand that for the end, for our client, in this case, the real estate developer, there was an increase in qualified leads by 38%. This means that the people that came there, they were more interested in buying. Also, the pre-sale, when people put the buildings, so real estate developers put the buildings for sale, increased by 30%, and it decreased the time to sign off the deed by 41%. But this one here, it's the most interesting one, increased web interaction by 78%. What happened? So when we increase the web interaction, we are basically establishing a bigger connection to the client, and we are establishing a bigger connection with whoever is watching and experiencing the project. So people, not only they will see the project, so clients would see the project when they are by our side, when we send them a link, when we present them, when we present in fairs, when whatever you present, and also they will send to their family. So they will arrive home and they will send, "Hey, look at this, look at the project I'm doing," or "Look at this, so nice," and people will walk through the virtual tour. And in the virtual tour, there is way more stuff to see than in a simple image. There is way more stuff to interact with than just a simple video. So it's not just a tool that is better at the objective of not only sales, but understanding what the project is, also for the architect to understand and build the concept earlier, okay? Earlier, the concept of the architect project earlier in time. And with this, it's that we are able to create a more interesting experience that makes the client stay more with us, that develops our project and makes us better architects. So in the end, of course, people that use this, they are happier because they trust the process. They understand what they're getting into, and the architect also is more confident because the client approves projects in a shorter time span. So by this, you have less interaction. So with the architecture companies that we do, and we accompany them in concept making, basically to create concepts for architecture projects that they have, even before showing the client, just for them to understand. And if you close the gap of the development of the concept earlier, then you will have less problems in the end when you start applying materials and checking the materials that you have never seen, how they go together or if they work together, okay? In a situation where you wouldn't have images or anything at all, and you end up in a situation where it doesn't fit your expectations. So basically, this is a tool to increase web interaction, increase interaction with you, to increase the interaction with your brand, and increase increase the output of your project to make it a better project. So now I'm going to show you. Let me just do this fast. I want you to go on this QR code, and you can scan it. I'll give you 1 minute for you to scan, and you'll be able to go directly to one of our 3D virtual tours. So this 3D virtual tour is of a building, in this case in Moscow, and you'll be able to walk through the building. You probably will have to wait 1 or 2 seconds for it to load, and then you'll be able to tap twice in the screen, and you'll be able to walk through the whole building. I'm going to show this in my computer, but I think it's good for you to understand how it works with your phone too. The difference between the phone and the computer is that On the left-hand side, on the bottom, you have a little phone with arrows, with four arrows, one up, left, right, and down. And if you click that phone, it will detect motion, and you'll be able to kind of like see the whole building in AR. Okay, so you can also try that one. So I'm going to show this to you. Here we are. This is the 3D virtual tour. It's interesting to understand this is a point-based solution, and that's the reason why it works so well on in a website medium. Okay, so you can send the link through here to anybody you want. You can create a QR code and send it to anybody you want also, and print it out. And the most interesting thing, I think, is that you can fully experience this apartment. So when we started doing with the architect this project, we decided that not only we wanted to be able to go through all the apartments, but we also wanted to be able to experience other things in the apartment. What can you experience in this case? You can experience something which is measurements. So the client can come here and check how much it measures from this point, from point A to point B. Okay, so this, in the end, the real estate sector, what we are selling is confidence. So this is a level of confidence that the project has the square meters that you need, and that everything fits and works. So then we can also come here and make a screenshot. And this is very interesting if you want to create also content. Okay, so not only you can create content by filming your own screen when you do this, okay, but you also can create other content just by making a screenshot, and this will be available in a full HD format. Okay, so if you touch this button, what's going to happen is going to download to my computer directly the image, and I'll be able to see the image. Whenever I want. Now he's downloading, so you can see the screen here. Might take a little while. I hope that it didn't crash the computer because I touched too many times. But here you'll be able to go on to downloads. I'll save here. Then I don't download it anymore. We keep on exploring the space. Okay. So I know that a lot of architects also have interior design teams inside. And this is important because you are not only going through the materials, but you are also going to all the feeling of the apartment. This is great because in the end, you can also link all these products that are from your partners, where you probably will get commissions at some point, and you can touch and you can buy this bed straight from the virtual tour. So this is another way of you creating more income and also understanding, giving a better idea of what the budget will be for your end client and how the interior design fits your architecture concept and project. Okay. The other thing that works here very well is a playable, so pre-recorded route. So I just leave on this pre-record and I can leave it on the screen in the office or show it to the client just like this, and we'll go through the whole space just by doing this. As you guys can see here, we are also using a Zoom share, but you can also share directly through here with anybody else. So you can send this link to your client and you can share and you can do the visit yourself while he's watching, okay? One of the great things here is that also you can experience the space as a total. This as a total is very important because it allows you to understand the full length of the project. So how big it is, how it is distributed, and if it makes sense or if you should alter it or not. Okay, so you can see the full, we call it humanized 3D plans. So this is what we call this type of product. And you can not only zoom inside and check each one of the rooms, but you can also navigate and choose one room that you want to go. So if I wanted to go here to the bathroom, I'll touch here and it goes directly to the bathroom. So here I am at the bathroom. Okay. Here you also have the plan, the normal floor plan. If you touch the normal floor plan, it'll be more or less the same thing that you have seen. And you can also, but in 2D, you can also navigate through here, okay? So there is countless possibilities. You can explore this. Try to use this on your phone because it's very interesting when you activate the motion detector and you start using your phone as a medium for you to explore the whole space. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Okay. So we go to virtual reality. So virtual reality and augmented reality, they are part of something called extended reality, the field of extended reality. We have seen, and probably you that you're taking this course, you have heard a lot and you took some interest and you already know what are the key differences here and how we use VR in very different ways nowadays. And it's interesting to understand what is being done in the medical industry. It's very interesting to understand what has been done in the aviation industry and in also the education industry in VR. But I still believe that in real estate, so in this case in the real estate sector, that this means architects, real estate developers, engineers, we are still very far away. So we are tapping now into hyper realistic environments and tapping now into interaction and behaving with the environment and understanding the environment as a whole. And still there are some layers that you can add here. So you can even, I think the mecca for VR will be a day, in this case in the real estate sector, will be a day where not only we are creating environments in VR to develop our concept, but also to develop, to show to the client, but also we are developing concepts in VR to be able to control the environment. And by this, I mean, you can control a digital twin directly in a physical way. So we control the water from a digital twin directly into the physical building. So, and even you can even go to the point of creating layers of engineering and show how it works, the aircon, etc., where are the valves, fire extinguishers, etc., etc., etc. So the possibilities are endless. I really, I really like the possibilities that we have been working on, which are more visual, which are more hyper realistic, because I think it's more of a we are now today in the feeling side, the understanding of the space, and less in the side of the operation of the building itself. So the understanding when we start. When we are able to overcome the challenges of the hyperrealism and how to show this hyperrealism in a more effective way, because I think today that's the problem. We have been seen advances in VR goggles, in computers, but needs to reach a point where cloud-based services and computers get a bit better, so they can stream easier and for less money the projects directly. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. So it's interesting to see with a lot of our clients that they have a very limited perception of what is VR and how you can define VR. And I don't know if you know, but there is more or less two kinds of virtual reality. There is one kind, which is the kind on the left-hand side. So you'll see here, this guy with this headset that doesn't have a brand. Normally these VR headsets, you put the phone inside, or you have a little LED screen inside. And these headsets will allow you to watch what is around you in a 360 way, but you have to stay put on the same spot. And if you want to move from point to point, you can actually do that, but there is a little problem because people get dizzy. And why do people get dizzy? Because humans are not able to in real life, they are not able to teleport themselves to points. So by teleporting themselves to points without the way to that point, without using the way to that point, people get dizzy. So a lot of my clients, when I talk to them about VR, they tell me, "Oh, I already tried VR. I didn't like it. I got dizzy." And then I ask, "Oh, so what did you try?" And they said, "Oh, I tried this. There was a phone inside." And I said, "No, no, no. Of course, that's not pure VR. What we are talking about is pure VR, and that's what I'm going to show you today." So on the left-hand side is called three dimensions of freedom, virtual reality with three dimensions of freedom. So this means that you can only move from your point, so the head around yourself in a 360 way, but you cannot move from point to point without teleporting. And then we have the pure virtual reality. And pure virtual reality is very, very, very interesting because from this point on, you have a 6 dimensions of freedom. So if you move your feet in the VR environment, you'll move your feet. If you move your hands in the VR environment, you'll move your hands. If whatever you do in the VR environment will be translated into the physical environment. So the only two missing sensations that you have is smell and touch. Okay, so everything else is there. You have sound, you have vision, you have movement, and those 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 types of freedom are very important nowadays. We can really convey a project and really leave the person that is on the other side seeing this in AUI and like, wow, this is incredible. On top of that, it's a very good PR in this case maneuver because it's very new. Not a lot of people know. And when you show this to somebody, nobody forgets. If you are the first person to show to another person a virtual reality solution of your project, I'm sure nobody will forget you for the rest of their lives. Okay. So now we're also going to software. There is the big players in this market for software for VR. I know you guys have been using Unreal Engine, so Unreal Engine is pretty good and pretty useful, and that's what you use at our office. And Unity also has some interesting outputs, but is more like on an animation drawing side. I think Unreal Engine is key here, and whoever wants to go into VR, they have to go through Unreal Engine. You have to bear in mind that Unreal Engine nowadays is the software that is used to create the most interesting games in the market. We are talking about Fortnite, we're talking about Harry Potter, we are talking about GTA. So countless big names of companies that are building in Unreal Engine, and they are getting very hyper realistic results. So you can also very easily get an hyper realistic results without building a whole world like this on the games, but you build just your project. So just one house, just one building, just one apartment, just one office, whatever you feel like. Okay. So again, going to this, then we come again to the point of how much time we actually spend in the internet. So it's our generation. So my generation here is millennials. So I'm a millennial. So basically, I would spend around 4.7 hours per day in the internet. Gen Z 4.7, Gen X 3.6, Boomers 1.8. So the average is 35% of our day that we are awake. We're spending this time on the internet. That goes again to the point that I was mentioning. You have to create interactive ways, just not only for you to develop concepts, but also for you to understand where you can go. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show you is one of our VR solutions. Normally, what I do is that I bring the VR headset. So we have in this case the Oculus Quest 3, and we bring it to anywhere in the world in a standalone version. This is important to understand because there is still a lot of solutions that are still not wire free, so they have a lot of cables. And these I have experienced, and when I started, they are not good because they get in the way. Having cables is not nice. So whatever you try to build, even though it doesn't have the hyper realism that you need, if you can build it in a standalone on a wireless version, always go for that because no cables, less problems, okay? So that's what I've been doing here. And I'll show you our VR.
In just over 2 minutes, I'm going to show you how I created this ebook using a feature called Word Genie.
Okay. I'm just going to keep talking for you to understand. You can grab objects. So you can create any object for you to grab. And if you can change the materials on the floor, on the walls, again on the walls, on the floor again on the floor. And if you look on the right upside, you see there is no cable. So this is very important. And the good thing is that you don't even need like a big space for you to be able to do this. You need a small space and you set your boundaries. And after you set your boundaries, you'll be good to go and able to walk the space. You can input actual videos that you have done inside the house. Again, changing the deck outside. And you can build anything that you want. So I'll stop here. So going back to where I was. Let me just go back here to the slideshow. So, oh, wait, because I still have some sound here. Sorry about that. Here you go. So back to me. I'll just go quickly through back to VR here to explain you something else that I think it's worth it, and I think will help you a lot for the future. So examples on how I use virtual reality. We use virtual reality in a standalone version, okay? So you only have the glasses and you are walking through the space. And the ability that you give you inside house for you to do things depends on how interactive, how hardcore we want to go on the interactive side. The thing is that it is very important to understand that you cannot go super interactive because most of the people that are going to use your project and going to be experiencing virtual reality for the first time. So you cannot make it complex. It has to be very, very ergonomic, has to be very simple. So focus on getting a beautiful space, on making the space feel nice. And when you are inside that you can walk and get the building and understand the building. And by that, I mean, focus a bit less on the interactive side. But there are two things that I advise you to do. One is for you to be able to fully walk the space. So any space that you do, even if you do a terrace, enable the terrace to be there. Concentrate yourself on an exterior. So that's important. The exterior is very important. Don't leave the house floating in the middle of the air. So try to convey the same exterior as the exterior that you're going to have on the actual project, because that is going to set the light, is going to set the mood, and you can start building the concept just by this. Focus on the exterior, put the exterior there, and then when you have the exterior done, you go more or less similar to what's reality. Then you go and you start building the concept of the architecture project. So what we do with our architecture clients is that then we go through the process of concept design with them. So we start by them giving the architects giving us the plans, the floor plans, everything in a very basic and free way. And with those floor, very, very cubical, very volumetric. And when you have the simple volume, you put the simple volume inside the project, in this case, the Unreal Engine project, and you start defining what is the look and feel of the building. So you put a terrace here, you try a window there, you open up a wall there. So you build the concept design through here. And you can ask me, oh, but doesn't that take too much time? No. Unreal Engine nowadays is real time if you have the right graphic card. So it's very, very fast and you can achieve very good quality in a very, very fast way. So it's more interesting. And sometimes I've seen architects struggling with the concept design phase. And by doing this, they are able to see their final product sooner down the line. Another example of clients that we have had some clients in Canada for a big real estate development firm that hired us to do some big houses, in this case, some big houses in a mountain, in a ski resort. Those big houses more or less would be $3 million each house. Each house will have around 600 square meters, and all of them will be equal, and they will be in the middle of the mountain in Canada, so in the ski resort. And the good thing about Canada is Canada has a lot of difference between seasons. So in autumn, you have the leaves, the very different colors of the leaves. In spring, you have the grass, the flowers, the green. In summer, you have the hot, the rivers, the animals. And then in winter, you have the snow. So what we did is that we built this house and the whole thing, the interior design, everything, so you could walk on the whole house. And outside, what we did is to change the environment. So instead of in this case, that you have seen, you could choose the materials. Instead, what would happen here is that you would choose in the end the season that you wanted the outside to feel like. Okay, so the illumination, the light, it would change through these seasons. So it's very interesting for you to see. Also, the other thing that we did is the path of the sun. So we saved the path of the sun around the house, and you could toggle another button that would allow you to see how the sun and the shadows would behave during a specific time of the year in that project. That's two examples that I can give you. There are other two examples that I would like to mention. One is an oil rig that we have done, not very, very recently. So this oil rig, what they wanted to understand if they could basically teach people how to walk in the oil platform and behave in the art form in a more efficient and safer way. So what we did is a replica of the oil platform that already existed. We put people inside walking to see how many steps they would have to make until they could reach to a point. So then the architect and the engineers, mostly the engineers in this case, had to go back and refit the oil rig. So the layout of the oil rig would allow for faster routes between the most important points. And in the end, the consequence, you'll have less people working on oil rig. Okay. So I think with these three examples, you more or less have an idea. We have done this for countless companies. And not only we do it to sell the project, for them to sell the project, but also for them to develop the concept. Even sometimes having the real estate developer hire us to work together with the architect to develop the concept design in a faster way. Okay, so now you have seen VR. I taught you all about what I think are the key points in VR, but I also wanted to show you a little bit of what we have done in augmented reality. Augmented reality, you can scan this QR code, you go directly to Mirage Virtual Reality website, Instagram, and to the filter itself. And if you touch the screen, you'll see there is a blueprint of the downtown Lisbon, and you'll see a little dark rectangle. And if you touch twice on the screen, then the building is going to appear. This is more of a marketing gimmick that we did, but it's interesting for you to see and to show to the client how the building behaves with the surround part. And now you can ask also, how did we get the model? So we went on Google Earth, you download the model, and you optimize the model, and then you put the model of the new building that's going to stay there. So that's one of the uses of AR. The other use of AR that we're working at the moment is to have on the facades of the buildings QR codes that allow you to scan the QR code and then in a certain angle, you can see the building itself in AR. The problem with AR is that AR doesn't have hyper realistic graphics and doesn't allow you for very good quality outputs. So it looks very 3D still, but it's very interesting. And I believe that AR is going to be a great step in the conceptualization for architects too. And not only a great way to save everybody in every sector a lot of time, but also it's going to improve a lot the output that we'll have with architecture. So I think with this I'm done. If you want, you can scan this last QR code and you can follow us on Instagram, check our projects, our website. I'll leave this here a moment also so you can take the contacts here. And that's my personal number if you need. And if you like what we do and you'd like to work for us, we have open positions all year long. So let us know or send us your CV, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you and see if you'll be a good addition to our team. So yeah, now I think I would like to open these to questions. Anybody on the floor, feel free to ask anything. Please do ask, don't be shy, because I know this is a very different topic, and any question is important, okay?
Great, Joao. Thanks a lot. That was an amazing presentation, really visual, really interactive. So thanks a lot. So we have a couple of questions. Jose Angel says, have you tried AR for more than marketing, like for on-site clash detection? Can you manage Kobe parameters using 3D Max, or why using 3D Max when a common tool would be either Revit or SketchUp or ArchiCAD?
Okay, so in this case, we have done something for an engineering firm, and what we do is basically an exploration for how you can see in AR where the aircon vents are going to be. But for on-site declaration, we haven't tried yet, and I know that you can use the 3ds Max with the Kobe parameters if you have like there is a what's the name? It's a little tool that you can download. I don't know the name, but you can also use, but it's not super effective. What is very effective still in this case would be BIM. I think by now stick to BIM and don't go further than that, because we are not at the point of having the technology to go into clash detection with an AR solution that is not incredibly expensive. There are some things, I've seen some things, but it's still not there yet, I believe. If I answer your question, let me know. If not, Jose Angel, let me know if I can answer any other question that you might have.
Great.
So,
Mohamed, yes, he says, thank you for the presentation. How many persons can explore the spaces using AR at the same time? Can we connect iTwin models to Unreal Engine? Do you have any other examples of using VR for engineering?
okay. So in the case of exploring the spaces using AR, at the same time, it can be millions of people if you want, in the situation that I showed you. So in the situation of like you go into Instagram and Instagram is using their own cloud-based service to stream that to you. You can also create your own cloud services, but I don't think there is a point by now, okay, to go into that way. But I think it's going to be very interesting when we start having realistic outputs, and then I think we'll be able to use AR at the same time, but in a situation where we are streaming directly from our company, streaming directly from our computers, or even using a third-party cloud-based service to do that in hyper-realistic ways. If you want to have a very high defined thing, that's the only way to do it. And nowadays, it's very expensive. We do that with the virtual reality that you saw. We also have like a gameplay mode where you can actually go like you were playing a game on your computer, and you can walk the whole thing and experience the whole project just so as in VR, but directly on your computer. And we do the streaming of this. But it's so expensive that it at some point is highly costly. but there are ways to go around it. Like you can only have 5 users at the same time, then you close the door, and if a user stays there more than 1 minute and he's not using the mouse, then you close the door and don't allow that that person goes out, gets logged off, and another person logs in. Okay. Answering the can we connect Kitwin model to you in Unreal Engine? Yes, you can. Nowadays, Unreal Engine has the plugins for Twin Motion too. So, and for iTwin for sure. And you can also use this to plug in. My opinion is that it's important to my opinion is that it's important to try to make everything inside Unreal Engine, because there is a lot of bugs when you start doing everything, bringing things from the outside. So do your own modeling on your own problem, Blender, 3ds Max, whatever. But when you start going into the plugin side, there is a lot of trouble and a lot of things that you're going to have to erase and going to the example of using VR for engineering. I can give you more ideas, but I don't have anything to show you today, mostly because we have big NDAs with the companies that we are working on, and most of the things unfortunately, we cannot show. They are very highly classified. But what we are doing more for VR for engineering is for to choose. We give the project, so the architecture project done to the engineer already in VR for him to experience, and instead of him choosing where it goes and when there is doubts or where everything is going, so all the types of engineering materials are going, then he can understand better what is in a more what is more feasible in a visual way that doesn't go into the side of the architect. So what I've understood with this type of projects is that the engineering starts having paying more attention to developing the engineering project on top of the architecture project through a more visual way. Okay, so this is mostly what we have found. Also, what we have done, and it's interesting to see, is that when we have a construction going on, there is a showroom, and we have, for example, one model apartment or 5, 6, 7 model apartments, there is a point where the building has a structure and where you have the view and everything is there, and you can also already walk on top of the structure. And we already had set up some, we paint the floor of the building, so we understand where everybody is, and we put the VR headset on the developer, on the engineer, on the client, everybody that's involved, and they walk through the project like they were there. Okay, so to get the feeling of what they're walking, and people from the art side, they are analyzing how that person is moving and how it's behaving with the environment before they start the building. Okay, so it's pretty interesting to have this. Okay.
Great. Do you have any more questions? I think we don't have any more. I don't know if somebody wants to ask a question. Let's let me see.
Yes,
No.
if you have more questions, please feel free. You can also call me or send an email. So I'll be happy to do that. Josephine, I think
Yep.
I started to get I got a message here that says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. So
sorry?
I cannot show my face here. I think you have to
no worries.
enable
We lost your camera, but that's fine. No worries. Okay, so I think we were done. Joao, that was amazing. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you everybody for joining us. This masterclass is being recorded, so you're going to receive the recording by mail. And well, thanks again. And if you like VR, you're interested in this, you can check out our postgraduate course, and so you can see some practical applications of this technology. So thanks again. Thanks, Joao. And
thank you. Thank you all.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you,
and
everybody, for seeing this.
Thank you. Hope to see you again at another event. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.